And we are live. Welcome into the Arena, Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast morning show for Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley of Burleman Gaming on Twitch, a.k.a. Mr. Streamloots. Burley, good morning to you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you, Expat?
I'm doing good. So, yeah, before the show, we were talking a little bit about boxing and talking about Mike Tyson, and he's like, he owns his own cannabis business now and all that. Is, he's really changed his life around. But I mean, when he was like 20 years old, he was like on top of the world, man. He was like, just a literal monster. I mean, I love that guy. I love watching that guy box. And I actually won some money on the fight that he had with Michael Spinks back in 1988. I bet that he would deck Spinks, in the first round, and he did, So.
That seems like that's a pretty easy bet to make.
It was a pretty easy bet, but the guy who took it, he was a former boxer. He was like, I think he's going to last about 5 or 6 rounds. I'm like, no way, man. He's going down in the first round. He'll intimidate the shit out of Spinks. And he did, yeah. I mean, Spinks almost literally pissed in his pants. I mean, it was that bad. And you could just see it. I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, those were the days, man, back in the late 80s. So but anyway, so let's see what's in the chat. So we got the chat here. So well, Chiquita, good morning to you. I hope you have a great day. So
good morning.
Thank you for joining us. So anyway, Burley, we got a pretty cool show today for the morning show. We're going to be talking about today for you, tomorrow for me here in Japan, but for you today, and you're actually going to be streaming this on your channel later today. So the State of Play, Sony's latest State of Play is coming today, Burley's time. We're going to talk about that and talk about some things that we might see during the State of Play. We're going to talk about that. Also, the original Dying Light is getting an upgrade, like a PS5 upgrade, and for Series X as well at a future date. We're going to talk about that. And then there's another future game show. So some gaming events coming up in the near future. Future gaming show, we're going to talk about that, as well as Evo. 2022's Evo events have been announced. We'll talk about those as well. So... Well, Chiquita says trying. So trying. What do you mean trying? You must have a good day. You must have a great day.
Must do.
Yes. Yeah, you must do. You must do.
Well, I hope you do end up having a good day.
Yeah. All right. So, and Burley was, streaming more of Horizon Forbidden West. Of course, I'm not going to say anything because I finished the game already. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but... yeah, Burley's enjoying it very much. Yeah, he's getting close to the end. So,
I did. I normally do about 3.5 hours on a day.
Yeah.
On a weeknight.
Yeah.
I went over 4.5 hours last night. I was engrossed in. My thing is, like, I try not to because of how long the story missions can get. I don't like stopping in the middle, but like just where my time was, and then we had someone bought some loot packs, and I had gotten a raid. All within like 2 minutes of each other. So it's like, okay, you kind of, I want to give more to people that are supporting, right? So I went longer, and then I'm like, I was like, I could end here in this mission. Let's go fight this because they're setting it up. You're fighting this big machine. Okay. And I end up doing well against the big machine.
Right.
Okay. And then there's another 5 minutes of cutscenes right after here.
Yeah.
And then it just gets me to, after this big story cut of Bob. I'm like, what the? And then I'm like, okay, I have to end, or this is going to be 5.5 hours.
Right.
And then I'm going to be a zombie for the morning show.
Right. Which is unacceptable. So
I've already done my one zombie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We know how that turned out. Yeah, you can go and check that out in video on demand. It was a couple of days ago, but but Burley survived it. That's everything was cool. So, all right, Burley, it's time to get the coffee brewing and get everybody ready. So we're going to talk about the State of Play that's going to be coming today for most of you. So stay tuned as we get the coffee brewing. We will be back right after this. Okay, Burley, let's throw some predictions out there, or things that you think we're going to see at this state of play. So, the state of play, it's coming 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 11 p.m. CET. So, I'm going to throw this one out there. I think with the huge success of Elden Ring, I think it's a safe bet that we possibly could get the announcement of a Bloodborne remaster. So, like a Bloodborne that's upgraded for PS5. What do you think?
Bloodborne edition. And we got something in the chat before I give you my thought. Morning, boys. Morning, Carl. How are you, man?
Hey, Carl. Yeah, good to hear from you, man. Carl is our other co-host on the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News podcast. So welcome in, Carl. So
I'm guessing the Patreon bail money worked and we got you out.
That's Burley's joke, Carl, not mine. Anyway,
what do
you think? Yeah, what do you think, Burley? Bloodborne for PS5.
We know that we've had so many rumors of Bloodborne. I think that's a little too early right now, and you don't want to take shine off of Elden Ring.
Okay.
So I think that one's not so big.
Well, not to take the shine off of it. I don't think it's probably going to be coming anytime soon. Maybe it'll be later this year.
But even if it's later this year, you know how many people that are like huge Bloodborne fans that either want a new game or a remaster?
Yeah.
You know how many of them would be clamoring and be like,
pretty much everybody that plays Elden Ring. So.
Well, not everyone, trust me. If I see a Bloodborne remaster, I'm like, no.
Okay. Well,
from what little I played of it,
you know who I'm talking about, Burley. The Souls people.
Board community, yeah. Oh yeah, no, they're gonna go nuts for it.
Yeah.
I think it's too early for something like that, but who knows?
Okay.
What I think we may, I'm hoping to see Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
Really hoping to see some of that. That's stuff I really have been looking forward to, and they promised us they were originally going to do stuff last year, but now they're doing stuff this year for it. So hopefully we get a shine on that.
Okay. Yeah. I've been hearing rumors that there's a possibility that Gravity Rush, you remember that game? There was Gravity Rush, and then there was a sequel that came out on the Vita as well. There might be a PS5 upgraded version of those two games.
Okay, I've not played them, but I heard good things of Gravity Rush.
Yeah. So that's something that I'm hearing that is a possibility. Out here from the Japanese side of things. So we shall see. And Final Fantasy 16. I think it's a safe bet that we might get some kind of news on it. The news that we will not get, though, in this state of play is any hardware related or game related news related to the PSVR 2. So they're not going to be showing anything about VR or any of PSVR 2 games or hardware. They're not going to talk about any news about that. So it's nothing VR related. So
which is not surprising. And Carl, good point. He said haha, and then he says any possibility of Spartacus news. That was my next thing. I was going to say I think we're going to get some Spartacus news. Whether or not it's going to be the whole thing goes live, we get the live date, the name, like we get the name and all the tiers. I think we're going to get something about it. Whether or not it's going to be what we want, because remember, as I am a Sony fan, Sony state of plays over the last long while they've sucked. They have not done well with it. Like I do not get what Sony has done in the past. I'm kind of hoping this one at least makes up for giving us a good variety. I don't need to love every title, but if I get stuff like there's stuff for this market, stuff for this audience, where you're getting enough different things, great.
Yeah. I tend to agree with Carl. I think we're going to get some news about Spartacus. And I think we're going to get the actual name of what the service is going to be, and they might actually show what the tiers are all about. and everything. Because, I mean, they've been talking about this coming out like at the end of March.
Yeah.
You know, like in the beginning of the spring. And so if they're going to do it, they're probably going to do it in this state of play.
Mm-hmm.
But let me throw this one at you, Burley. Horizon Forbidden West DLC.
Yeah, I could see them announcing.
Yeah.
And saying whether or not we get a DLC coming this year or next year, they give us a date.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised because we did get Frozen Wild for the first game. And hey, if they're going to give me more content for Forbidden West, sign me up.
Yes.
Here, I got a stack of this. Here's my money. Take it. Some good old Monopoly money. You can take it.
Monopoly money. Come on, man. Yeah, but
it's a joke in my Twitch for a certain command.
Yeah, but yeah, I of course I finished the game. I don't want to say anything about it. You know, I mean, it's a great game, but I mean, just like, you know, with Horizon Zero Dawn, with the Frozen Wilds, there's gonna be some type of DLC, and I think they're gonna. I don't know about this state of play, but I would not be surprised if they do mention something. So it would be cool. Yes. Alrighty. So that's going to be today. So Burley's time, of course, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for all of you on the West Coast. So of course we will be covering what they announce on tomorrow's edition of the morning show. So stay tuned for that, and we'll have some comments about them as well. So looking forward to that. So to talk about them together. So, and of course, if you want to watch it live, of course, on Burley's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Burleyman Gaming, go there and you can watch the live stream, and he will be showing the state of play. So you can check that out. And then, of course, Burley will be on the morning show with me tomorrow to talk about the announcements. So, all right. So it's time to move on to a game that I highly recommend. And of course, the second iteration of the game, Dying Light 2, came out earlier this year, in February. So, but the original game is going to be upgraded. We're going to talk about that right after we do the drone flight and our advertisements. So, Burley, you got the controller ready? We will be back right after this.
Drone's prepped.
All right, so this is from Polygon.com and ONS Good. So Dying Light gets free PS5 upgrade. So the patch is coming soon to Xbox versions, says Techland. So I'm going to read some of this for you here. So Techland announced Tuesday that it has pushed out a patch for the original Dying Light that will enhance the 2015 game on PlayStation 5. A patch bringing the same enhancements to the game on Xbox Series X is on the way later, the studio said. The patch available now introduces 3 new video modes, as well as a 25% increase in in-world viewing distance. Players may choose from a performance mode, 60 frames per second in full high definition, quality mode, 30 frames per second at 4K resolution, or a balanced mode aiming for 60 frames per second in quad high definition. So I think the latter is what Carl would choose, most likely. The update also offers enhancements for PlayStation 4 Pro owners. It improves Dying Light's 30 frames per second cap and brings a new networking solution to the game. Dying Light originally launched January 27th, 2015. God, that feels like forever ago, Burley. On PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One. A re-release bundling the game with all of its DLC launched for those 3 platforms in May. And on Nintendo Switch in October. A sequel, Dying Light 2 Stay Human, launched on February 4th on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, and is planned for Nintendo Switch sometime before the end of June. But yeah, I mean, I think it would probably be best to play on console or PC. But anyway, Dying Light was an amazing game. It was really fun to play. I mean, I loved, the story, and you're like running around, and then once it gets dark, That's when it's the most dangerous time. Yeah. And running around in the dark was not very easy to do. So, yeah, it was a fun game to play. And I still want to play Dying Light 2. I'm sure I'll be getting around to it. But anyway, what do you think of these enhancements, Burley?
I'm glad to see it's getting enhancements. Does that mean I get the 4K version on the Switch?
Good luck.
Maybe on the Steam Deck?
Hey, the Steam Deck could probably be a better chance of getting that on that than on the Switch. So
yeah. Oh yeah. No, this is nice to see. Mm-hmm. I would have thought they would have done this just before Dying Light 2 came out.
Yeah.
Personally, because this kind of seems, I don't know about you, this kind of seems backwards to me. I would have had this out late last year.
Yeah.
Or early like January to prep for Dying Light.
Right.
Because this kind of seems like, oh, okay, maybe like I'll eventually try Dying Light, and this is nice that I can get an upgrade and can take advantage more of the PS5, or if I for some reason bought it on my Series S, like I get some advantages.
Maybe it's because they had to wait for the next gen consoles to come out to start actually working on these performance modes and the quad high definition mode. Maybe it just took more time, and that's the reason why it's coming out now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a possibility. Not sure, but the good news is now you'll be able to have this option and you'll be able to play it. At these frame rates and on your current gen consoles. So yeah, it's a great game. I highly recommend it. If you have a chance to play it before Dying Light 2, give it a try. So it's a cool game. So all right. Okay. So Burley, next up, we're going to talk about the Future Games Show. So there's another Future Games Show coming up. So we're going to talk about that right after this. All right, so we have another Future Games Show coming up. It arrives on March 24th with over 40 games. So this is from Samuel Tolbert over at imore.com. So if you're in the mood for a look at some more games, get ready. Games Radar announced on Tuesday that the Future Games Show Spring Showcase is on the way with a presentation that'll feature over 40 games. While there's no specific titles mentioned yet, we do know from the Future Games Show Spring Showcase press release that there will be 8 completely new games revealed during this event. So with publishers Nacon and Frontier Foundry taking part during the show. So given the range of new games and new looks at previously revealed games, it's safe to say that whether you've grabbed a current generation console, you're still using a last generation machine, or you've got a Nintendo Switch, there'll be some games for you presented at the show. So Burley, are you excited for this? Actually, everybody, Burley and I might try to live stream this Future Games Show. So we will keep you posted on that. But because I think Burley's going to a concert that day, and I think if we live stream it, Burley would be live streaming with me from a hotel or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, we will keep you posted on that, right, Burley?
Yeah, we'll definitely keep you posted.
Yeah.
It's just because I'll be doing it from a hotel room, as Expat says, and I got to test their so hopefully their Wi-Fi is good enough for me to just chat, because I won't be the one hosting it.
Right.
But like it says 6 p.m., so
yeah,
I don't have to leave for like an hour or two later after the thing starts. So hopefully it's not a long thing. It shouldn't be. But this is neat. I didn't watch the last one that they did.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be completely honest, but hey,
yeah,
it's
games,
this
man.
This is games, and this is going to be not necessarily all AAA. You can get some good old double A's and indies, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like we have to preface that. Look at Kana from last year.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
was such a that like if you have a PS4, PS5, I don't care like which one you have,
That
pick
is a
up
must
that.
play.
Yeah,
Must
that
play.
is it. That was a must play. I had a
Must play.
blast playing that game.
Yeah, it's a
I
great
want
game.
to go back to try and get the platinum.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, Burley, but with Horizon Forbidden West now, I'm thinking of trying to get a platinum trophy on that. I want 100% that game. It's so good. So,
Oh, I hear you. I want
yeah,
to go to the platinum that, and then I've got all this Twitch content. It's like I have no
yeah.
time.
Yeah, it'll happen. It just when we don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah. So the Future Game Show on March 24th. So hopefully Burley and I will be able to live stream it for you and give our reactions to the games that they announce at the Future Games Show. So yeah, good stuff. We're looking forward to that. So kind of like a mini E3 in spring, kind of. Yeah. Guess we can call it that, right, Burley? Kind of a mini E3 in a sense. Yeah. So
Our good old mini E3 showcase. After we have the hopefully not disappointing Sony's.
yeah. Let's keep our fingers crossed that the state of play is good. So hopefully it will be.
I'm really hoping.
Yeah. Hopefully we get some surprises, but. All right, so there's another gaming event that's coming up, but it's coming a little bit farther off. But in the summer, of course, everybody knows of Evo. So we're going to be talking about Evo because they gave all their event information. So we're going to talk about that right after this. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Okay, so Evo is the big, of course, fighting game, kind of like a showcase that they have where a lot of people go to. Actually, one of the people I work with out here in Japan, he's also from California. He would go on summer vacation. He would go back to California and then go to Vegas for Evo every year.
Oh, really?
Before the pandemic. Yeah, he's really into fighting games. He's a big fighting games guy, and he'd always tell me he'd go there, go to San Jose, California, which is, in the Silicon Valley right outside of San Francisco. That's where he's from. And he would go visit his family, and then he would go down to Vegas and attend Evo and participate in the Evo event. And of course, probably like after the first or second round, he'd get his butt kicked by some of these other gamers. And but all in all, he had fun doing it, and he would go every year, pre-pandemic, so yeah. But anyway, the Evo 2022 lineup, this is from Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN. So Street Fighter V, Tekken 7 headline this year's event. So Evo has unveiled the lineup of games coming to the popular fighting game tournament this August, and you can see the lineup here on the screen. So Evo staples such as Street Fighter V and Tekken 7 will return as expected, but some titles will also feature for the first time. So the full lineup is as follows. I'm going to read those off for you. Street Fighter V Champion Edition for PS4 from Capcom. Guilty Gear Strive PS4 from Arc System Works. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate PS4 Warner Brothers Games. Tekken 7 PS4 Bandai Namco Entertainment. The King of Fighters 15 PS4 from SNK. Melty Blood Type Lumina PS4 Project Lumina. Dragon Ball Fighter Z PS4 Bandai Namco Entertainment. And Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, so PS4, Cygames and Xseed. And finally, Skullgirls Second Encore, so PS4 from Autumn Games. So yeah, so that's the lineup. Burley, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a good lineup. Yeah, it sucks because we heard the story earlier in the year. Smash Brothers wasn't going to be in there, and it's also not surprising because there is bad blood between Sony and Nintendo. But also Nintendo, I feel they are just after Sakurai did with the last DLC. He's like, I'm done. I don't want. He's done with Smash Brothers and all that.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of want a distance because if they bring it to Evo, You're gonna get people. Oh, come on, give us more DLC. Give us more.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of.
I was going to say I'll be interested to see what the the player turnout is and the fans that come to this year, because this is the first time, of course, since the pandemic that the Evo fighting tournament's coming back. Go ahead, Burley. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how many numbers on site.
Yeah.
Are going to be there, people, and it is a good lineup of games. It's not surprising to me. Like Street Fighter and Tekken are always big ones, as well as Mortal Kombat. Fighter Z, because there hasn't been a big new Dragon Ball fighting game in a while. So
right.
And I think it just got more DLC recently. Than King of Fighters, Grand Blue, Guilty Gear, Multi-Blood, and Skullgirls, which I don't remember. Like, I heard about, but I never knew too much. But I'm not huge into fighting games, so I can I could see that game could have. I'm guessing because it's at Evo, it's got a giant thing,
right?
And Sony does own Evo. Yeah, maybe this year with the State of Play, we get the Sony brings back All Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that again.
Yeah, the person I was talking about earlier, he's into the Street Fighter series, so he's big into that. So I'd be interested to see if he's going again this year. But Evo Returns after last year's event was canceled due to complications caused by COVID-19. Founded by Tom Cannon, it is one of the world's most popular fighting game events. Its roots being in the tournaments hosted in Northern California in the mid-90s. Yeah. Wow. Good old back in those days. Yeah.
It goes back to the 90s.
Yes.
That I did not know.
Yeah. So Super Smash Brothers is conspicuously absent, as Burley was saying earlier, from this year's lineup because Nintendo made the decision last month to not have any iteration of the franchise at Evo 2022, possibly as a result of Sony purchasing the tournament in 2021. Fans and players alike can otherwise attend Evo 2022 at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas from August 5th through the 7th. So that is the news for Evo 2022. So the Mandalay Bay, that's a cool, really cool resort casino in Vegas. So it's good stuff. Yeah. All righty. So that does it for today's news. So any last words about the State of Play, Burley? What do you think? Any other games that you think we might see, or anything else they might talk about?
No, because like the only thing I think that we may get a little info is God of War, because that apparently is still coming this year. Supposedly. Yeah. Like, if it doesn't come this year, I'm not going to cry or none of that. It's take as much time, make that game, have that game come out when it's ready. But if it's coming this year, I wouldn't surprise I'm not saying we get like a giant 5-minute trailer, but we get something.
Do you think we'll get, like I said earlier, we're not getting any information regarding PSVR 2 or any games related to PSVR 2, but do you think we might get anything on the PS5 hardware side of things? Any kind of announcements?
No, I think if the world was in a better place right now, and we weren't in still the pandemic and chip shortages and all that, I think we might start hearing about hardware like your size reductions and all that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I can't see them right now with the way the world is want to put effort into getting that out right now.
Okay, so you're killing Carl's hopes and dreams right now of getting the PS5 Slim Edition, right?
Well, sorry,
so
Carl.
Not in the State of Play. Yeah. So
How many times do I give my predictions and get all pretty much always wrong? So who knows? Maybe me saying this means PS5 Slim is confirmed and coming later this year. Carl's saying,
I don't think it's coming yet. I mean, it's too early for it, but I don't know, man. Anything's possible, I guess. The sky could turn red tomorrow.
Who knows? We could get Judgment
know.
3, Kaito's Revenge gets announced.
Hey, yeah, there you go, man. There you go. I would be up for that. You know, even though I'm more of a Yagami fan. I love Kaito, but you know, yeah. So I mean, I think before Lost Judgment 3, we're gonna get the TV series out here in Japan first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I'm sure Kimura Taki is probably already working, at the TV channel to get that all ready and to start. So looking forward to that. And yeah. So, and speaking of TV, of course, Picard season 2, episode 2 is dropping. So Burley and I were going to be doing our reactions video to that later on in the week. So stay tuned for that as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's good stuff, man. All right. So yeah, kind of a not so big news day. I mean, that's because the State of Play is coming up. So I'm sure tomorrow's morning show is going to be packed with news about what happened at the State of Play. So, hopefully.
Tomorrow is going to be a day we're going to have, we'll probably go like 40 something minutes because the State of Play is either going to be so good where we have a lot to talk about and spend 15-20 minutes, or it's going to be 10 to 15 minutes on that. And we're like, why did they waste time on
right
whatever?
So Burley, get your rest tomorrow, man. So don't stream for like 5 hours of Horizon to try to finish the game tonight after the State of Play. Don't do that.
I can't confirm that that'll happen, but we'll see.
You cannot confirm or deny. Well, yeah. So I'm telling you right now, you want to take your time with that. So.
Oh, I will.
Yep. All right. So I think that's going to do it. So, Shakita, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate you. Of course, Carl, we really appreciate you as well. And we're looking forward to having you on the podcast with us again this Saturday. So, and all of you that are watching in video on demand, we really appreciate you. And thank you so much for coming in and checking us out wherever you watch your content, whether it's YouTube or on Twitch or on Twitter. That's we do this multi-stream on those platforms. So thank you so much for coming and checking us out. And like we said, tomorrow we'll have info related to what was announced at the State of Play, along with any other big news stories that might come out between now and then. So I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burleman Gaming on Twitch. We hope you have a great morning and a great rest of your day. Enjoy the State of Play if you're going to watch it, and we hope to catch you tomorrow morning for the Thursday edition of the morning show. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.
Burley, kill the feed.
With pleasure. Yeah!